Hey, this is Senator Brandt with our next Roundhouse Rundown, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the election. This will be a fairly short one today. The really exciting news for us as Republicans is we obviously won the White House. That's awesome. I will tell you, I've been predicting we would for several months now, but we won. That's great. We got a Republican back in the White House. Trump's back in the White House. So now let's see if Kamala Harris concedes this afternoon. She still hadn't done that, but she may have done that by the time you hit this, or she may refuse to. Who knows, right? We're already hearing the Democrats whine, about, oh, they stole the election. I mean, it's kind of hilarious. All right, so, but really something I don't think most of us projected. I thought we might pick up the Senate or tie it, but it looks like we're going to get to 53 in the Senate, maybe 54 if some of the numbers come in and stay true to where they're at. So that would be amazing, right? And I'm talking about U.S. Senate, obviously. U.S. Senate 53, 54, and it looks like right now we are projected to win and keep the House, but they haven't check marked off or nothing's official on that. So the House is still up in play as far as numbers go. But if you take all the leaning reds, the leaning R against the leaning Ds, we should keep the House. So that's pretty exciting. I think that's great. That means for over the next 2 years, we have no excuses though. So, my challenge to the Republicans that are going to be in D.C., you got to make something happen or we're not going to keep it in 2 years. So, let's work together as Republicans. If we just put aside our partisan bickering, I think we'd get a lot done. And what I mean by partisan bickering, I'm not meaning between the two parties. I'm talking within our own parties, right? So if we stop bickering with other Republicans in D.C. and quit changing speakers every couple months, we would actually be able to get some things done. And I'm pretty excited about what's happening in D.C. And then I want to bring this back home because the fact of the matter is we had some opportunities here in New Mexico and we missed them. So first of all, I want to thank every single person out there who went and voted. We had good turnout. Some are calling it great turnout. I don't think it's great turnout. It's still around 70%. That's not great. That means 30% of Republicans didn't vote still. So, we've got to continue to work on building that up. If we could get that to 75%, then we would have flipped a bunch of seats in New Mexico's legislature. So let's keep working here in New Mexico. We saw some positive things in certain areas of the state as we look down by the border, right? In some of the areas that had been really heavy blue, we saw some purple coming out. In fact, we had several seats down south, down in Doña Ana County, that it looked like we were winning. And then they put in the absentee ballots. Okay, so we did good on early voting, we did good on same-day voting, but when they put in the absentee ballots, they beat us barely. But those races were really, really close. So Solopec did really good, a lot better than I expected, and we saw a bit of a red ripple. I'm not going to call it a wave, but a red ripple in Doña Ana County. What that means is we've got to focus in that area for the next 2 years. We've got 2 years to really build up that area. We've got 2 years to start getting people re-registered, 2 years to go down and sell our brand, right? So, I'll put out a challenge to our state party. Let's focus on the southern border of New Mexico. Winter Round came really, really close in the House to winning that seat. So, we have a couple of opportunities down there. Skaggs came pretty close to beating Small. So, we've got some real positive things down there. But I will tell you, it's disappointing because we had a couple of seats that went unchallenged down there where we didn't even put someone up. And so we need to make sure we're working on developing candidates in the South, make sure we're working on those areas of the South, because that is an area that we can pick up some seats in 2 years and then in the Senate in 4 years, right? So, but we did in the Senate pick up one seat. We flipped one seat, so we had 15 going in. We're coming back with 16, thanks to Gabe Ramos and that Silver City area. We have flipped that seat, and I'm really proud of Gabe. He ran a fantastic race, great guy. I can't wait to serve with him again. If you remember, he was up here before. He was a Democrat then. So again, here's one of those people who's like, I didn't leave the Democrat Party, they left me. And I realized that the party I most identified with was the Republican Party, because the Democrats have changed that much. That's the message we need to be sharing. That's the message we got to start getting out across the state. We saw a huge move in the Hispanic community in New Mexico, especially Hispanic men. Let's continue to capitalize on that by showing them that we actually are the party that cares about them, that we are the party of the working person, that we are the party that will help them if they need it, but we're not going to give them handouts. We're about giving people a hand up. We're about getting people to be self-sufficient, right? So let's work with our Hispanic community and really start showing them that Republicans are the ones that really do care about you. The Democrats just want to take advantage of you. So I think we have some real opportunities in the state. Dow got her seat back, so we flipped one seat in the House. So we only flipped one seat in the House, one seat in the Senate. That's better. Now we're 2 seats away from being a super minority. So in the Senate, that helps. It would have been great if we could have picked up Salopek, because that would have gotten us to 17, and that would have been huge for the committees. But we didn't. So what do? Do we cry about that? No. We say, hey, we missed an opportunity. Let's start working on it now for 4 years from now. And I think now for 2 years from now. Even though we can't change the Senate in 2 years, we can focus on those seats. We can evaluate those seats, and I've already got people working on some of that evaluation. We can evaluate those seats and see where do we have the best opportunities, and we start working in those areas now. We cannot wait for 18 months and 6 months away from the election, find some people to run. We can't do that. That's what we've been doing in New Mexico. They didn't flip Florida. They didn't flip Texas. They didn't flip Oklahoma from being blue states, and those were all very blue states, to being red by doing nothing in the interim. They worked every day throughout, from the day the last election ended through to the next election. And that's what we've got to do. And that's what I hope our state party will focus on. Because I tell you, we can win CD2, we can win CD1 if we focus on the House and the Senate. And I'm not talking about the U.S. House and the Senate. I'm talking about the state House and the Senate. If we go focus on those races and quit focusing on the national races, we will be the ones who pull the top of the ticket through. Let's quit asking the top of the ticket to pull us through. Let's pull the top of the ticket through. Let's do that by changing people's hearts and showing that we really care. Because people only care to vote for you if they think you care about them. And I do think that we're the party that truly does care. We care about the community. We care about people's health. We care about people. The Democrat Party just uses them. I think we can show that. I think we can make some great gains in New Mexico if we'll quit fighting amongst ourselves and we'll stay focused on the prize. And the prize is picking up the governor in 2 years and picking up the House. Let's make that our focus for the next 2 years. And I'll be on here trying to keep it at least once a week. There'll be a couple of times we mess because, we have some things happening that I'm going to be actually out of the country a couple of times. But things are exciting. We took some baby steps, just like a baby. Start taking those steps. I think before long, we're going to be running. But the only way we're going to do that is if we don't trip the baby when they start taking the baby steps. We support the baby. We help the baby to get to the point that they can run. Let's work with each other. Let's forget about the past. Let's put those arguments and those discussions and the way that we've talked bad about each other away. Let's work together as a party to bring more people into the party. Remember, Reagan talked about that big tent. That means everyone is welcome in the Republican Party. Everyone. They don't have to believe everything the same as I do, I'm going to go with 80% is good enough. And I'm not going to call anyone a rhino ever again. I don't care how they vote. It's time we quit using that term. That is so derogatory and so divisive. Cut it out. Well, I hope you'll join me over the next couple of years as we focus on taking the House and taking the governor's seat. We can turn New Mexico red. It's going to take time. And it's going to take us working together, putting aside our differences. Well, this is Craig Brandt, Senate District 40, and I'm going to sign off now from the Roundhouse Rundown. Have a great week.